Yes to your massive Bitcoin opportunity right here, right now. And yes, Bitcoin only goes up. The only thing you have to do is zoom out. So instead of being anxious about what price Bitcoin does every day, shaking up and down in volatility, take a step back, look at the weekly chart, look at the monthly chart, and then take action on that, especially for Bitcoin. Bitcoin is a long-term asset that has massive gains for you. And I'm going to show you in this video exactly what those gains potentially look like and what you should be doing to make sure that you are protecting your portfolio and looking at it from a bird's eye perspective, zoomed out. When in doubt, zoom out. So thank you and welcome back to the Crypto Bliss community. Thank you for being here with me once again. I truly appreciate every single one of you. You can see I've been giving you guys some more videos and some more content over the last few days. I hope you have been enjoying every last little moment. Today, I am going to fly through some of the interesting things that are happening out here. So let's delve right in. First of all, Coinbase plans India comeback after securing regulatory registration with the FIU. The crypto exchange started withdrawing from the country in 2022 due to regulatory pressure. But guess what? Due to everything that's been going on in America, well, this is now unfolding back into India. And there is something very, very particular about India, but I'll show you that in a moment. Make sure to stay tuned with me. Firstly, Pakistan eyes crypto legal framework to boost foreign investment. Pakistan aims to regulate crypto to become a leader in blockchain finance and attract international investment, says Pakistan Crypto Council CEO. So interesting, right? Considering what everything and everybody is doing right now in the space, what does this mean for us? Well, let's go and first of all take a look at the world population. The world population looks like this. Countries in the world by population in 2025. India has surpassed China, by the way, with a population of 1.463 billion people. China at 1.416 billion, and United States in third place with 347 million. Now, that is very interesting, right? Because if you go and look at Africa as an entire continent, it will tell you something even more interesting. I'd love to actually share that with you. Well, I'd actually love to go and share with you what the entire African population looks like, because I have no doubt that it's going to be much more than India and much more than China. Even though India is one country and China is one country, they pretty much take up a lot of their continents. So why not include the whole continent of Africa as one, even though there's multiple countries in here? Nigeria with a population of 237, that's massive. Indonesia is 285. Pakistan is 255 million, which kind of comes in just after the American population. So imagine Pakistan and India together, my friends. What does that actually look like? Well, first of all, let's go and have a look at African population, because the entire African continent is at 1.54 billion in population, smashing this by 100 billion, okay, which tells me that Africa is the sleeping giant, okay. I live in Africa and I am an African, and I can tell you right now that Africa is an untouched resource. South Africa is mineral rich. Africa are trying to get their hands on the majority of the continent. That's why the French have infiltrated, the Dutch have infiltrated, the British have infiltrated, so much as infiltrated into the African continent. But that's for another video in this session. Right now, I'd like to delve into exactly what all of this information and data matters to you. So first of all, shout out to Cryptocurrent YT. You can see here the Bitcoin cycle scenarios are time-based and ignores price. Immediate pump up to the upside is an early cycle, could be likely, but a normal cycle, which is much more possible, is kind of a slow grind up, breaking through the all-time highs, and then a massive rally once it's broken through that pressure pot, okay? And the unlikely scenario is that the cycle is over and we pull back down into depth on the weekly, right back into the 200 EMA, which I doubt is going to happen at this point. Although right now, I mean, I wouldn't see why we wouldn't come down to 70,000. But if we did, that means we're kind of at this level here, and it means that we're just going lower. So I doubt that is the scenario, and here is why. Because you can see here that all the green circles are breakouts, clear breakouts, okay, every single time. The false breakdown is the blue circles, false breakdown, false breakdown, false breakdown, false breakdown, false breakdown. Then we had breakdowns, which actually led to further downward momentum in price action, right? Breakdown, except for this one, right at the bottom, okay? No breakdowns in all of this position except for here. We had a breakdown in this price action. So right now we're under the level that we need to be. But once we are under that level, we always make a spring back up, okay? So why would we not do that right now? Here is false breakouts on the yellow circles, okay? And that's telling us that that was false breakouts. That's why we had this pullback. Well, it's okay to have the pullback. It's okay that we're having manipulation right now. And here is why. Is it a good time to buy Bitcoin in this cycle? Because if it's in the red, it's very expensive, okay? If it's in the orange, okay, it's expensive. If it's in this area, which it currently is, it's in fair value. This is cheap and this is very cheap, okay? So right now we're actually in fair value. So that's why we needed a pullback, because we were very much overextended throughout this entire rally. So why not have a pullback, consolidation, and then shoot right through to the 150 to 180,000 level up here, become very expensive, have a massive pullback down right back to whatever, 120, 130K, and then have one last absolutely massive pump to the upside on the 270,000 target, just like I have given you in my Bitcoin chart. And I'll show you firstly, before I show you that target, as I've shown you before. It doesn't matter that we oversold in the stochastic. We're at a very, very pinnacle. We're kind of going sideways. So why would we not go sideways on this level, which we have been for some time, with the next pump up, little pullback, and then this massive breakthrough that we have here on the M2 money supply, breaking us out of this downsloping trend on Bitcoin. Breakthrough, retest, breakthrough, pull back underneath it, get the momentum to break up, retest it. Isn't it so ironic that it is actually like to the T on where the levels are? So breakthrough, retest, you know, there's a lot of resistance there, so there'll be a bit of chop here, pull back underneath these levels, just like at this level and this level, boom, breakthrough on this level, and then kind of capitulate, and then who knows where we go from there. But I'm sure it's going up, because Bitcoin over the long term goes up. And so hence why I need you, my beautiful community, to have a look at my target all the way up here at 300K for October 2025. So we have one massive pump up here to this 180K, becomes very expensive at the 2.618, has a massive pullback down to the 130 down here, then a massive extension going up into the last, and probably a little stop around this 230K area, but then a massive move up to this 280 to 300K area. Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comments below, and here is why. So Bitcoin beats global assets post-Trump election, despite the BTC correction, which is what I've just shown you. So despite the current correction, Bitcoin price may still see a rally over 200,000, says Gracie Chen, the CEO of Bitget, told Cointelegraph. Very, very good news. According to data predicting bull market comeback, the Bitcoin, and I like this in the fortune cookie, Bitcoin is around the corner from what is normally one of the two best months, and one prediction to sees a return to BTC price discovery as a result. That's 126K target. Wait till you see what I have to show you now. But before I do that, I would love for you to go ahead down below in the description of this video, hit my Bybit link so that you can get yourself some Bitcoin. Because as I do every video that I have done for you over the last few days, you can see that currently the Bitcoin price is ranging sideways along this journey right here, but is making higher lows consecutively and higher highs consecutively within the frames of the Bollinger Band, meaning that we're getting ready for the next breakout. Like I said, one more move up to this area, a pull back down to the median zone, creating that higher low, just like this area here, and then boom, a breakthrough into this zone right up here. Okay, have no doubt that that's what's going to happen. I don't have a lamp. I'm not a genie, but that's what I foresee coming, especially because the stochastic is pulling up here. The MACD is coming out of it's coming into a buy territory zone. So make sure to get advantaged in this zone with me and my Bybit link down below. One last thing that I'm going to share with you in this video is that the reason I tell you to zoom out, because this was the bottom, right, of after the bear market. Now what we can see is that since down here, the 15K odd level, we have literally gone up. Yes, we go up, and then we go down, and then we go up, and then we go sideways and down, and we go up, and then sideways and down, and then we go up and sideways, and then up, and then sideways and down, and then up, and then sideways and down, and then up, and so on and so forth. That is just what Bitcoin does. Now, here is some incredible evidence for you to decide what to do with this. Bitcoin's price history from 2009 launch to 2025 highs. I'm going to just go right through this, okay? So this is its entire history from 2009 at $0 to where it came to its peak at $110,000 to where it is today at about $84,000. It has gone up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. It's going to do it forever. Now, what you need to realize is that this was the 2009 to 2013. So this was the beginning of Bitcoin. So sideways, 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 pump. Then sideways, sideways, massive pump. Crash, sideways, sideways, sideways. And then what can you tell me? Do you think it's going to do the same thing on the next chart here? Because now this is from the 2013 to 2017. So there was that massive looking thing. Look at it. It looks like a tiny little blip here. Then we sit sideways, 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 sideways. Massive pump, massive dump. I wonder, can you tell me? Well, guess what? We had that bear market come all the way down to here. Then we had a massive sideways, sideways, sideways pump. COVID, it just is what it is. It does the same thing over and over and over. And currently, since that massive pump and the all-time highs, we had the bear market. And then ever since, this was 21 to 23, just by the way, so we haven't even seen the full chart. This was the bottom. We pumped, pumped, pumped. I wonder, because the returns to year by Bitcoin, 2009 are currently insignificant, right? Because that's the year that it was launched. First trading took place in January, I think January the 1st or January the 4th, 2010. In that year, Bitcoin gave you a return of 30,000%. In 2011, it gave you a return of 1,467%. In 2012, 187%. In 2013, 5,870. In the bear market, minus 61%. In 2015, 35% up. 2016, 124% up. 2017, 1,338% up. 2018, minus 73% in the bear market. 2019, 94% increase. 2020, 302%. 21, 60%. In 2022, minus 64%. In 23 is 156%. In 24, it's 121%. Year to date in 2025, right now, is minus 14%. Guys, this is the most significant time in all of history right now. And the reason I have to say that to you is typically because we might be down 14%, but we're only in March. And what I've just shown you gives you sneaky clues to tell us that this bull cycle hasn't yet begun. It's being suppressed by price volatility and price action from institutions that are waiting and locking in their investments. So yes, Bitcoin currently is reliant on volatility from the stock exchange, the S&P 500, because it has followed the S&P 500 quite strictly for some time, and the S&P 500 has been following M2, and therefore Bitcoin has been following M2, just like I've shown you in this chart. So the choice is yours. Do you still believe that you're early to Bitcoin, considering that in these videos right now, I've shown you how Bitcoin can get to 13 million, 50 million, 100 million. At the end of the day, you do what you do and you do what you please. But for now, I would appreciate you subscribing to the Crypto Bliss community, sharing this video with your friends, your family, because you and them need to know why it is so important right now to get your Bitcoin, your slice of the Bitcoin action. Because if 1.5 billion Africans and 1.4 billion Indians come together, as well as China's 1.4 billion, that's going to gobble up all of the Bitcoin that America is trying to get their hands on. So this will now become a race to see who can get more Bitcoin on their reserve balances. And right now, I can tell you, China and America are head and head with one another. Who will be the strongest player in the end? Well, at this point, only time can tell. So for now, I appreciate you. You make sure that you have an incredible day ahead. And thank you for being here with me. I truly appreciate you. And we'll see you on the next one.